Welcome back. You're watching Cannes special episode of Storyboard. Unilever has committed to stop stereotyping women in their ads, promising that it will advance portrayals of gender across more than 400 of its brands, which include the likes of Knorr, Dove and Surf. Explaining that it would address the three key areas where genders are typically misrepresented, which are role, personality and appearance. At Cannes Lions, we caught up with Aline Santos, Executive Vice President of Global Marketing for Unilever, and spoke to her about unstereotyping and about the problems faced by global brands in local markets. Let's hear the full conversation. A part of Cannes Lions was a very interesting seminar called Unstereotype, and a part of this seminar was Unilever's Aline Santos. We speak to her about how do her brands unstereotype and about the way in which Unilever markets itself globally. Aline, welcome to the show. How does Unilever unstereotype?
Wow. So what we are doing today here in Cannes is the starting point of a journey. We are inviting our marketeers, creative people from this industry to reflect about how they are portraying people in advertising. So today is the starting of a journey where we want everybody to think about how we can better portray in a more respectful way people in a way that is good for business but is also good for society.
All right. Unilever has a lot of regional offices, but there are regional marketing heads for these regional offices. But as a global person looking after the marketing of Unilever, what is exactly your role?
So in my role, one of my responsibilities is to create global capabilities for Unilever. Capabilities like everybody being very well trained in the digital space, capabilities like understanding how to write a brief, and in this case, capabilities in terms of how we develop assets for Unilever in a way that we unstereotype people, in a way that we are more respectful to people.
So what exactly is your role in terms of...
So when we create those guidances at a global level, we make sure that this is something that is going to go across our business. To start with, we normally have people already from different regions crafting the guidance with us because we want this to be relevant everywhere around the globe. So once we have the guidance, we know that that guidance is a guidance that will help people all across our business. And once we have this, we make sure that every marketeer follow the same guidance. And this subject specific about unstereotyping has been a subject of so much passion from so many areas of the business and so many countries that has been a fantastic story so far because people are leaning in, people are really moving towards an unstereotype approach to advertising, and we are having fantastic buy-in from each of the regions.
All right. Global brands have very unique problems. They could be doing very well in a particular region, but very badly in some other region. But social media makes this problem travel across the boundaries. So how does a marketer like Unilever deal with that?
So the first thing that we do is to be very transparent, yeah? I think that there is no space anymore not to be transparent. So if there is an issue in India, and this goes into social media, the whole world will get to know about this. So the first thing is to acknowledge what is the issue, understand why we have the issue, and propose what are going to be the solutions that we are taking for that issue. So I don't think that there is any other possibility. You have to be frank, you have to be transparent, and you have to deal with the problem.
So how do you look at social media, and how many times do you personally visit a social media on a daily basis in terms of your work?
Well, I was already a big fan of social media before this position. I continue to be. Among all the platforms, I think that the one that I use most is Instagram. I think that I look to my Instagram probably, 10 times a day.
Unilever's portfolio of products include the very responsible Dove and the very commercialized Fair & Lovely, especially in the Indian market. So how do you manage both of these offerings?
So we have actually more than 400 brands Each of our brands have a very strong personality. We have teams that are organized per category, and within the categories we have teams that are organized by brands. The people who are working on the brands, we call them brand communities. So independently if they are global people, regional people or local people, they are part of the same brand community. They communicate the same values for that brand. They understand the strategy, therefore they can execute communication pieces in a very seamless way.
Increasingly, there is pressure on brands like yours to be good. Quote unquote, be good. How does an organization like Unilever manage that, and doesn't it conflict with your business?
Doing good business and doing good has always been part of the DNA of Unilever since the beginning with Lord Lever. I think with the launch of Sunlight soap, he was trying to bring hope to people. He had a bigger dream than just a bar of soap. So this is something that is very integral to the way we do business, and we believe that we do business well and better than some of our competitors because we understood how purposeful brands can really help us to drive good at the same time as good business. So they are absolutely helpful to each other. They are not contradictory.
So how important is being doing good in probably developing markets like India or let's say Latin America?
I think it is important to do good business and do good everywhere. Developing markets are very important for Unilever. That's where we have the biggest footprint. There's so much to be done there. If you go to a country like the country I'm coming from, which is Brazil, everywhere you look, there are things that needs help. And we believe that we cannot just put the burden into government. We believe that companies and brands also can help, and we would like to take that responsibility. So we are already doing lots of things. On Dirt is Good, the Omo brand in India is called Surf Excel. Just last year we helped 10 million kids for better education. So we are doing beautiful and big moves towards D&E markets.
A lot of FMCG companies have been struggling with e-commerce as a platform. How do you look at that?
I think that e-commerce is absolutely delightful, super important to our business. We are growing ahead of the market in terms of our e-commerce business, but I think that we are in our infancy yet as the whole industry, and there is a lot to be done. There is a big team that is focused on that in order that we can continue to grow faster than the market and offer to consumers an easier way, a more convenient way of accessing information or buying our products.
There is Effie's and there is a Cannes Lions. One stands for effectiveness for your campaigns and one stands for pure score creativity. What does matter to Unilever more in terms of awards?
So obviously everything that we do, we are seeking for effectiveness. What we love is to merge these two things. What we love is to have very creative work that is also very effective. And if you look to the prizes that we've got from effectiveness and the prizes that we get here in Cannes, many times they are the same campaign. So same campaign with great creativity is also being very effective.
So final question, we are at Cannes Lions. What is your key learning from Cannes Lions?
More than my key learning from the Cannes Lions, I think that is the key message that I would like to send to the Cannes Lions participants. I think that advertising is a very important role. It has an important role, and I think that what I would like to do is to inspire everybody who is related to this industry to think about how they can start unstereotyping their pieces of assets, how they can promote people in a more positive way, in a way that people feel more respectful, and in that way they will do better business, but they also going to make a better society.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us. This brings us to the end of our Cannes Lions special series. Hope you enjoyed watching it, and you can also catch all of our Cannes special content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.